Happy New Year. Welcome to What the Flick. I'm Matt. That's Alonso. That's Christy. That's Ben. We are...
I love
Name tags?
I just love it every time.
I'm here!
He's so happy.
I need to acknowledge that I've been named, you know. I'll stop.
We are here talking about our favorite movies and our least favorite movies of 2012. Who wants to go first?
You go first.
I'll go first?
You go
All right.
first.
My favorite movie of the year, early in the year, something completely caught me off guard, and that's what I love. You know, we see a lot of stuff ahead of time. We know what we're going into. When a movie completely rises above my expectations, I really like something. And for me, that movie was The Grey with Liam Neeson. I believe a January release, January or February.
So, yeah.
Liam Neeson
That's
gets
when
caught.
Liam Neeson gets these.
Right? I'm kind of bummed we don't have anything from him this month.
Right, coming up.
I'm wondering
resting.
where he is.
Well, it's I looked because I liked The Grey too, although it didn't surprise me because the Taken was 2008 and Unknown was 2010. So this was 2012. So
Right.
I guess we get
Off year.
Yeah.
Reteams with Joe Carnahan, who he'd worked with in The A-Team, which I also really like. But this is a kind of a bleak, very existential movie about him and a group of other oil workers trying to survive in wolf country. The wolves are wildly exaggerated. It becomes less about the wolves and more about their own struggle for survival. I really like this movie. One of my favorites of the year.
Yeah, I liked it too. It didn't surprise me because I now expected it to be pretty
Well, aren't
cool.
you the know-it-all?
It surprised
No, just because of the same
right.
because we like these Liam Neeson movies.
It surprised me that I thought it was just going to be sort of Liam Neeson Man Against the Elements movie, and this is a really powerful movie about grief.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
right.
this is about
Right.
loss and about pain, and given what's been happening in Liam Neeson's own life, I thought a really sort of interesting window into his own, having become a widower. It's a very personal movie wrapped up in what is sort of a traditional kind of action.
You like
yeah,
it, right?
yeah, and the scenes around the campfire
remember what
when
you
they're
hated
just
about it.
talking. What did I hate about it?
Hated the end, the very end. You were very irritated at
Oh,
the very
that
end.
happens to me sometimes.
Yes,
yeah.
I love
No, but the
end.
scenes
I
around the
thought end was
campfire,
perfect.
when they're just talking, you find out who they are and they reveal themselves in very subtle ways. Like that was to me more powerful than a lot of the facing down the wolf stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway,
No, I would say that the kicker after the credits is unnecessary.
I don't
but
remember what
before
it
the
was.
credits,
Tell me after.
I think
You
it
didn't
ends in a
like
perfect spot.
All right, well, you can see it again now.
I
if you
can.
still don't remember.
All right, so you want to go? You go
Sure.
next.
My number one is a documentary, actually, which is not usual for me, a top film of the year, and I saw it in January at Sundance. It's called How to Survive a Plague. It, I believe, still has a 100% on the tomato meter.
Yes.
And it is a look at ACT UP and the AIDS Coalition to Unleash Power and how it came to rise in the 1980s when people were dying of AIDS and there was nothing to do about it. And these guys went to the streets and learned the system and invaded the halls of the government and academia and big farm and figured out how to basically. This movie outlines how we now have protease inhibitors and people are not dropping dead all the time of HIV because of what these guys did in the 80s. It's an incredibly powerful documentary and I think a really inspirational documentary for yes, for gay audiences, but for anybody who wants a roadmap on how you fight City Hall.
I was just amazed at how much footage there was, given this
Well-
is prior to everyone having an iPhone camera. They
Yeah.
they
But I mean,
thought
it's
to document
clearly
these
a
things.
media savvy
Oh yeah,
group, right? I mean,
because you have multiple cameras shooting like meetings and protests and stuff. So in
you get
putting
coverage.
so putting a documentary, you can actually cut within a thing, and you're not just stuck with these static shots. First time director David France, incredibly talented. I can't wait to see what he does
He
next.
worked hard to go through all that footage. My pick is Argo, which I gave 4 stars to. Maybe seems like an obvious choice. It's definitely an awards kind of front runner, but I was so amazed at how definitely Ben Affleck balanced the international thriller true story with the inside Hollywood comedy, and it just kept surprising me over and over again.
I think the debates about Argo, and I don't even know how serious they were, but I keep reading about them, about the stuff that was changed and the inaccuracies. It's not fair to the Canadians, and one of the heroes of this just died this week. In fact,
Really?
Not the Canadian ambassador, the other guy who took people into his house,
Right.
who's not in the movie. But I mean, again, then make a Canadian movie and make that guy the hero. I'll see that movie too.
And turning a Hispanic guy into a white guy. Let's not
Right,
forget
right.
that.
But I just don't think it matters because I think what they did was create the very clear tension and drama in that situation, and they made and the part about the Hollywood movie to sort of cover as the cover story back home. and in Iran. That was true. That all works incredibly well. You get the idea that it's tense, so they added the more revolutionary guards. I agree. I thought it was great. And I also think it's the best movie of the year. But I'm not gonna. I now have changed my mind just for the purposes of this program.
I see. I picked it first.
So I
have dibs.
I will include my second favorite movie of the year.
What is yours?
I thought Moonrise Kingdom is Wes Anderson's best movie.
That's great.
And I was incredibly touched by it. I don't think I've told more people to see a movie than Moonrise Kingdom.
And have they come back to you and said to you how much?
Everybody who sees it likes it. It's sweet, it's tender, and it has the things that Wes Anderson movies, for me, while so many of them are wonderful, they lack a little, which is sort of any sort of identifiable humanity.
A little thing like that.
Yeah, a little thing like that. Like they're so wonderfully quirky that I sort of drift away. But I thought all these people, while still these are Wes Anderson characters. They this time I thought I might know that guy.
It's his best film since Rush.
And such a great cast. Everybody.
Not counting Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah. That's live action.
That's
film.
yes.
Yeah.
And they play characters. Everybody's a little different. Bruce Willis is a little different. Bill Murray's a little different. Frances McDormand's a little different. And Ed Norton's great too. And
the kids
Tilda
are great.
Swinton.
Tilda Swinton is so good.
The kids are great.
The
And
kids are
it's
great,
beautiful and detailed and twee. But not like
It's
suffocatingly
a lot
so.
of the good Wes Anderson and not nearly so much of the bad Wes Anderson.
And it turns out that's like the perfect mix. For me.
Exactly.
That's right,
Totally. That's all we want.
Okay. Bye.
4 good choices.